Hey guys, welcome back to the All-Star Boxing Podcast. This episode is brought to you by VBR Lawyers, one of Queensland's leading personal injury law firms. They have offices all over the place. They've got one in Brisbane City CBD, Corinda at the Brisbane West, and at Burleigh Heads on the Gold Coast. My good friend Greg Black, he manages the one in Brisbane CBD. So, if you've been injured at work or on the road and need a high quality lawyer who is focused on achieving you the best results while keeping legal costs down, please contact Greg and his team at VBR Lawyers. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the All-Star Boxing Podcast. A special one because with this previous camp, so I fought only a couple of days ago. We're really getting back into the swing of things already. But I was supposed to fight Harry Garside, as everybody knows, but I was sent away to the Cudgen gym where Angelo, Hyder and Tony Nobs, the main trainers of the Moloney twins and Bruno. And with joining me tonight from the gym, Cudgen Gym, we've got Tej Singh, Junior Cruzat, and Queen Evie. She's actually our translator for the night because Junior can speak very little to no English. So nothing. So when I was sent to Cudgen, I was there for 2 weeks, and it's a really cool story because there's a house behind the gym. And that's the place where a lot of us fighters stay, and the gym's just up the road there. And I was there for 2 weeks, and for the first week it was just me and Tej, and then Junior came for the second week, and we've pretty much Google Translate for the whole week, just trying to communicate, Tej understands that.
Yeah, pretty much. Every time I had to speak with him, all right, translator. Even now, he tries to explain. He tries to speak English now, but get your translator out, then explain it to me. So it's fun.
It's fun, and we're getting there. So Junior's got a big fight on the 15th of October, the Chilean title next month. So he's been here for 1 month in Australia, 1 month.
Yeah.
On a training camp, and then he goes back home, and then he fights for the title. So he's been doing all of his sparring with the Moloney twins and with Bruno and all the boys at the Cudgen gym there. And Tej, so born India?
Yeah, I was born in India.
And how long you been in Australia?
10 years now.
10 years.
Yeah.
Brisbane?
No, I was in Melbourne for 9 years, then went to I was trying my luck in boxing in America. Nothing happened, so I'm back here in Australia and moved up here.
So you've had 25 pro fights?
Yeah.
How long were you in America?
For a year.
A year, whereabouts?
LA. I was training at Buddy McGird's gym in Van Nuys. So yeah, it was a good experience. Sparred few good people and
Any notable names?
I sparred Callum Smith.
Yeah, nice.
And no, I forgot the name of the guy who fought Benavides.
Wow.
Yeah, so I sparred him, but only sparred him once. But I sparred some really good names over there. So that was a good experience.
So Tej is a southpaw, and he was pretty much my main sparring in Cudgen there. Division? Middleweight. Heavy. So as you can see in this footage, I'm going to send you some footage, Reese, that I'm getting knocked around by the heavyweight.
Not really.
But I needed that. That was a push.
Oh.
We were pushing 10 rounds of sparring.
Anytime, bro. Yeah, it was good.
And you pushed me, bro. So with this lead up to Harry Garside, my trip away to Cudgen was important for me because I felt like things... Look, I've been boxing for 12 years, boxing for a long time. And how does somebody still stay motivated when there's an even bigger fight happening, So Harry Garside announcement really brought the best out of me.
Yeah.
And that's why I was sent away to your guys' gym. And so I really got to tap into something better because with these A-grade type fighters, I'm going to give A-grade type effort as well. So I got to work with you, got to work with all the boys at Cudgen there, and got to meet Junior, and I've met a lot of people, which I'm going to quickly shout out now. So my sparring partners throughout this camp, Max from Cooperoo. So I appreciate all the work that we've done. Hope you say your name right, bro. Waiora from Boxing Shop. Again, you pushed me. He's not even fight ready, but he was pushing 8 rounds. So I really, really appreciate that. Another cool kid, Alex Conrad. I met him at the Fox Sports studio. Really, really cool. And massive props to Angelo, Hyder, and Tony Nobs. So you all kind of were really a part of my success of this fight. Even though it wasn't Harry, I still got to see a new side of me. So enough about me. Junior, 9 fights undefeated with 5 KOs. 9 fights undefeated.
Yeah, 9 fights.
All in Chile.
Yeah.
Wow. How old were you when you started boxing? Because your father owns a gym in Chile. So the family boxes. Can you get him to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. ¿Cuántos años tenía cuando empezaste el deporte? Porque tu papá tiene un gimnasio, ¿no? So, el deporte está en la familia. ¿Puedes hablar un poco de eso?
Bueno, primero que todo quería agradecerle a él por la oportunidad de estar en su podcast. Y claro, yo comencé desde muy pequeño, a los 8 años, gracias a mi papá. Mi tío igual fue boxeador, campeón mundial, y ellos fueron como mi principal inspiración y motivación a practicar este deporte. Desde muy pequeño practicaba muchos deportes, pero en ni uno de ellos sentía esa adrenalina por dentro que siento con el boxeo.
Wow.
So he wants to say thank you very much, Miles, for letting him be on his podcast tonight. He said he started boxing, 8 años, did he say? Yeah. I started boxing around 8 years old. And as he was growing up, he's tried a whole bunch of different sports, but nothing really sort of stuck with him. Obviously, it's thanks to his father and his uncle, who was a world champion.
Wow.
Yeah, who really gave him that inspiration and motivation to, get stuck into the sport.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's where it all began.
Yep. And when I was staying with Junior and Cudgen there, I met his, father and family through the video calling and whatnot. And get him to explain what his parents do. The father has a community gym open to the schools and the police force and things like that. So get him to bring up some of the background of what his father does.
Miles dice que conoció a tu mamá y papá cuando te llamaban y hacían video chat, y él quiere saber, él quiere que tú expliques más del gimnasio de tu papá, porque el gimnasio está abierto a la comunidad y a la policía también para entrenar ahí. Yeah.
Bueno, mi papá trabaja en la comuna de Yanquihue, que es donde vivimos nosotros, y ahí trabaja mi papá haciendo clases a muchos jóvenes, que estos jóvenes son... muchos de ellos tienen problemas con adicción a las drogas, problemas familiares, y su escape es el gimnasio. Su escape es el gimnasio, entonces trabaja con muchos niños, con muchos jóvenes, muchas mujeres, hace aerobox también, y es un entrenamiento gratis, que es totalmente gratis, puede ir la cantidad de gente que sea, y toda su vida mi papá ha trabajado en eso. Claro.
He says, so his dad works in a community, Kuwait. ¿Cómo se llama la comunidad?
Yanquihue.
Yanquihue. That's the community name. And he's always had a gym there. And the gym is open for children, youths. A lot of these kids and youths come from troubled backgrounds. So it's drugs or family problems. And he's always worked with them. Has provided free boxing classes as well as, I guess, a way of managing and coping with some of those difficulties. His dad also runs boxing classes for women as well, and that's what he's done his whole life.
Wow. So pretty much he lives in a boxing family, with the uncle and the father. How is his relationship with his dad when it comes to the fights? So the preparation, because he told me his last sparring partner for his last fight, because this is why he's in Australia, to get better and to develop. He needs more sparring because his last pro fight, he had his 15-year-old brother be his main sparring partner. So that's like the top level of the sparring that he had there. So he's come here to reach better opposition, to challenge himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Más quiero saber cómo es tu relación con tu papá para prepararte para una pelea. Y también quiero saber un poco más de la gente que te ayuda a entrenar. Perdón, no sé la palabra en español, sparring. So, entonces, ¿tu hermano es tu sparring pareja? ¿Sí? Y por eso viniste a Australia, ¿no?
Claro.
Para tener más experiencia con diferentes
Claro, justamente.
gente. Yeah.
Justamente, claro. Bueno, en Yanquiwe tengo un gran equipo, tengo muchas personas que me apoyan, partiendo por el alcalde de Yanquiwe, que es Víctor Angulo, y atrás mío tengo nutricionista, psicólogo deportivo, mi padre que es mi entrenador, y en esta oportunidad él no me pudo acompañar, ni él ni mi hermano, por temas económicos, por temas de su trabajo, por temas de familia también. Pero tomé la decisión de venir a Australia para, como dice Miles, mejorar mi nivel, subir mi nivel, ya que en Chile no hay sparring. No hay sparring. Mi último combate lo hice con un niño amateur y con mi hermano de 15 años. Y la verdad que el sparring es algo fundamental para el boxeador.
So he says he has a good community in Yanquiwe, a good community in Yanquiwe, and he has a nutritionist, he has a sports psychologist, his dad is his trainer, and obviously he did come to Australia to try and better his sparring levels and get that experience, because his last fight, you're right, he had like a younger boy and his brother be the sparring partners. Obviously his dad and his brother couldn't come with him to this trip due to like the economic finances and just work and family commitments that they had, but I guess his reason for coming here was to try and gain that experience so that he can go back and represent his community.
Nice. What's been your observation being with Junior now for the past month? 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
In what sense? Like,
and his development. What have you seen his growth? And he's leading up to the October 15th. How's he look in your eye? The development's there.
Look, to be honest, like you have to be motivated, and he is motivated because like he has come out to actually get something out of this whole training camp. So he is motivated, and if you're not, you have to. Otherwise, you're not gonna get anything out of it. So he's focused. He's training hard. He's doing everything he can to improve, and he is doing it.
Nice. Well, he's surrounded by people like yourself, so he's learning new things as well.
That you have to ask him. I can't say that because I don't know what to say. But I mean, that's his experience, and he would be able to answer that better than me.
Yep. Just let him know that he's observed his development and his focus, and looks like he's gearing up for October 15th, and then I'll ask you a question.
Le preguntó a Rash cómo piensa que ha sido en este entrenamiento, y él piensa que estás motivado, porque si no tienes esa motivación no vas a sacar nada de esta experiencia, ¿no? Y él puede ver tu motivación y que estás, no sé cómo se dice, focused, enfocado. Y Miles le preguntó a Rash que obviamente estar en un entrenamiento así, tienes gente como Rash que puedes aprender cosas nuevas, pero Rash un poco humilde y dice, yo no sé, eso le tienes que preguntar a él. Pero Miles tiene otra pregunta para ti.
How's his experience being sparring boys like the Moloneys and Bruno, because they're top level, they're world level. So coming from sparring with his family members in a small community in Chile to now sparring potentially, the world's best, how's his experience been?
Más quiero saber tu experiencia de hacer sparring con los Moloney twins y Bruno, porque ellos son un nivel más alto. So, ¿cómo te sentís haber tenido esa experiencia?
Claro, la verdad que en esas instancias, cuando, por ejemplo, yo he tenido la experiencia de poder viajar a Estados Unidos, hacer sparring con boxeadores igual de gran nivel, a pesar de que por mucho tiempo en Chile no hago sparring, llego, por ejemplo, previo al viaje a Australia, no hice nada de sparring, llegué acá sin entrenamiento, se puede decir. Y la verdad que en esa instancia yo como persona me transformo. Me transformo, ocupo el estar lejos de mi familia como motivación extra, el mejorar como motivación extra, el ver a campeones como ellos, como los hermanos Moloney, como Bruno, como el entrenador Angelo, a mi lado como motivación extra. Entonces todo eso me transforma. No soy el niño joven que está abajo del ring. Yo una vez subiendo arriba al ring, soy otro.
So he says he's had experiences like going to America as well, to train and spar with people that are of a great level too. But he says, obviously, like he didn't have, like before coming to Australia, he didn't even really train, didn't really have that sparring experience. But as soon as he knows, like, or knew he was coming here, that sort of transformed him. He used that as motivation. He used like the opportunities to train with the Moloney twins and Bruno as that motivation, and that transforms him. The fact that he's away from his family, that's another source of motivation. And so he no longer is like the small like country town boy. He's someone different. Like he transforms and he takes on those experiences as really good learning opportunities.
Yeah, get bigger.
Yeah.
Tej, so give us some of your background. Like what got you into boxing? You started boxing in India?
Yeah.
Whereabouts in India?
My place is 250 km up north of Delhi, so north of India, and it just like, one of our PED teacher, physical education teacher, he was a former boxer. He just asked couple of, I would say students, like if you wanted to try boxing. So I stuck to it. He wasn't I wasn't training under him for long, but just boxing stuck to me, and I kept going.
You enjoyed it when you tried it?
Yeah, I tried, and I enjoyed it, and then I had a bit of gap because I did my college and all, but after college I started doing it again. So yeah, I enjoyed it, I loved it, and yeah, I still love it.
Nice.
So.
And then, so how many fights you had 17 amateur fights? That was all in India?
Yeah.
How did you feel like with your first amateur fight? How old were you?
Well, I was 17 or 18 when I had my first amateur.
Yep.
So after that, I didn't have a fight for a while. Then tried it again when I was 22 or 23. So I had quite big gaps. I would say on and off. But coming here, then I was I continued boxing regular boxing. I didn't have any gaps. So in Australia, I was regular. Before that, it was on and off.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And then when you turned pro, that was in India?
No, here.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what made you go to America?
Nothing was happening here as I was in Melbourne. Plus,
you were in Australia and then you went to America.
Yeah. So, just last year I was in America. So, COVID didn't let us do anything. So, I might have to try something somewhere. So, I thought America might be a good option because my sisters are there. So, family was already there. So, accommodation was sorted. So, I tried. Things didn't work out because
COVID.
The manager, things didn't work out with the manager over there, so I sort of came back.
Yep. Good experience though?
Yeah, definitely good experience. Got to learn a lot, how American boxing works, how they train and all. What I noticed is they only train 5 days a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, just chill out, relax, and they have very precise training. They work hard, not saying that they don't. They really work hard, but they are very precise about everything. All right, this time we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and every trainer, it's like trainers are pretty much, most of the boxing trainers over there are mobile. The gym is owned by the management, or
Okay.
that someone's managing the gym, and they hire the main coach, the head coach over there. So he's the head coach of that gym, and other coaches are just mobile trainers. They go from gym to gym.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how they train. So where I was training, there was 7 or 8 trainers.
Wow. And so how many stable of fighters? Like how many boxers were in there?
I would say 30 to 40 pro fighters.
Wow.
Yeah, they all were pros, and amateurs used to come in and train during night time. But I would say from morning 9 o'clock to 1 or 2 o'clock, all pro boxers. So they've done their work, then they leave, and evening time, just cardio or whatever, their coaches ask them to do, and they used to do it.
And those fighters will share the gym, and would they kind of communicate with different coaches? There'll be different kind of squads within the gym?
They talk to people, but I don't think as far as boxing concerned, that they talk to other coaches. They just stick to their coaches and train there and stuff like that.
Did you go to any pro fights when you were there to watch?
I actually, that's how they asked me. The Moloney brothers are coming to fight in America. You want to go and watch, man? Sure, why not? So that's how I contacted them. And Angelo said, why don't you come and train with us? If things not working over there. So I told him.
So you met them when you were in America?
Yeah, Moloney brothers.
Okay.
And then then we started talking, and seemed like a good option. All right. And it's yeah, you're right. Maybe I should train with you.
Wow.
So yeah, and rest is history.
Rest is history. And now you've been bunked at Cudgen since...
No, I moved out. I'm living in Gold Coast at the Majerba, not far off, so half an hour drive from there.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. And that's what all the boys do. They, everyone kind of lives close, and then they all come to the morning.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Train in the mornings. And we woke up early, so when I was there for 2 weeks, we were in the gym at 6.
Yeah, I'm still at the gym.
Yeah.
At 6.
And then all the boys, the Maloneys and Bruno, will come.
7:30.
Junior, 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30.
So we'll do our thing, and then I'll assist all the other boys with their training as well. So we had a bit of a system there, and I guess because I was the guest, they'll cater for me earlier.
Yeah.
And then you helped out as well, and you'd beat me up, and then do your own training.
Not really, but
after that. What did you feel in our sparring? Because even though we were preparing for Harry Garside, do you believe I could beat Harry?
Bro, I don't have to believe it. You have to believe it. I mean, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. If you believe you can beat him, you can definitely beat him. No one else matters. Not her, them, none. Just you. And in here, if you have it in here, you can definitely beat him. Anyone, for that matter.
And this is the funny thing. And now that with this fight, this was the most press I've ever had, media and whatnot. And just all the trash talk and all the comments, I got to stay out of that stuff. I have to stay out of it because it's all
just
pro.
ignore. It's not good. Just
good.
Focus on your training. Your main job is to train and train for the fight. This all bullshit. It's all on the side. Don't even focus on them. Your main job is to concentrate on your training and how you're gonna fight in the fight. That's what it is. Rest doesn't matter.
No, it was definitely. I want to keep coming back. I want to keep going back to Cudgen for all my other fights coming up. 1, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's time to really. It's the perfect place to not be distracted by all the other.
100%. Yeah, you're right.
Things of life and things that get in the way. So now that I feel that my fights are getting bigger and bigger, that's a perfect place, and we call it a monastery. That was a place for me to just kind of get all zen, read the book, go to the beach, do all the breath work. So that's another topic I want to talk about. So for those watching, a lot of people probably already know, I gave myself, I always do weird challenges, 100-day, whatever. And I'll be doing a breathwork challenge for 100 days. And I experienced so many positive things throughout the 100 days that when I reached 100, I'll just stay on it. So I think as of today, day 113. But throughout the journey, I've pulled in other friends to join me with it. And when I was in Cudgen, I got Junior to do the breathwork, you know? Yeah, so we did it at the beach, and he's like, oh wow, that's amazing, you know. So got him onto the breathwork, and then he kept on doing it. An interesting story, and I want to bring this up because he's away from his family. I messaged him now that I'm back in Brisbane. Messaged Junior, and I was like, oh, you still doing the breathwork? How was it? And he messaged me back saying, oh, I had a very strange experience. I was in between round 3, and his mum came to mind, and he goes, oh, I stopped it to give her a call, and then mum was in the hospital.
Crazy.
So it came to mind in the breathwork. And he was like, what is this? I said, oh, you're connected, Now that you're really going deeper into this, it's all connected. Ask Junior if he's had any more experiences throughout the breathwork.
Miles habló de tu experiencia, que cuando estabas cuando estabas respirando y tu mamá vino a tu mente y la llamaste y estaba en el hospital. Él quiere saber si has tenido otras experiencias haciendo el breathwork que Miles te enseñó.
Claro, al principio me costó mucho llegar al round 6, que era hasta donde tenía que llegar, que me dijo Miles. Y claro, las primeras experiencias fueron difíciles continuar. Una, como la historia que contó de mi mamá, que fue muy, muy loco. Yo estaba haciendo la meditación y se me vino a la mente mi mamá. Y yo dije, ¿qué pasa? Claro, la llamo y estaba en el hospital. Y después, claro, iba en el round 3, round 4... y se me venía a la mente, no sé, mi familia, ejemplo. Mi familia. Y me daban como ganas así de llorar. Pero de a poco fui controlando eso hasta llegar. Ahora ya hago los 6 rounds súper bien.
Yeah. He says that he struggled initially with getting up to like round 6 of the breathwork, which he said that he needed to get to, and obviously he had that experience with his mum, and then a few times like moving through the rounds his family would pop into mind, so obviously a lot of emotion would come through, but he's definitely, now he can reach round 6 and he's okay. So I think it's just a lot of emotion going through those rounds that he could feel. Wow. Particularly because of just thinking of his family.
Yep. Easy. Funny story. I don't know. Everyone's got their own kind of language, but because we'll train earlier, and then the boys will come in, and I would help with the boys when they're coming in because I'm kind of done. And Junior had his gloves. He's like, "Oh, brother, can you take them off?" So I was like, "Yeah, easy." Took it off, and he goes, because he's learning English, he's like, "What is easy?" He's like, what is that? What is easy? And I was like, I couldn't translate. I was like, oh. And then I put it on my phone anyway. And he's like, okay. But now he's always like, easy. Now we coined that term. So every time we see each other, messages or whatever, easy. Ask Junior, his experience of, Australia is one experience and his boxing is one experience. But meeting me in the training and then watching the fight a couple of days back, what was that like? Like just him, we got to bunk together, and then he was at one of the big shows in Australia. Ask him that.
Más quiero saber tú, él sabe que tienes una experiencia de Australia y boxeando, pero él quiere saber qué es tu experiencia de haber conocido a él y después haber visto la pelea de él.
Sí, fue una muy linda experiencia y qué bueno que tocó ese tema, porque estar lejos de la familia y sobre todo a mí se hace muy difícil. Es muy difícil estar lejos de la familia. Yo soy una persona que en sus tiempos libres, en vez de salir, no sé, a disfrutar con amigos, etcétera, yo comparto ese tiempo con mi familia. Somos muy, muy apegados. Entonces eso se me hizo difícil, pero conocí a estas dos grandes personas que se transformaron en mi familia y que ellos me han hecho esta estadía mucho más fácil, la verdad. La verdad que me han hecho sentir como en casa, eso lo aprecio mucho y eso, y la experiencia de su pelea es una experiencia, o sea, es algo inexplicable, que para partir un evento gigante que nunca había visto, nunca había visto un evento tan grande, y lo mejor es que triunfó, lo mejor es que ganó, así que contento con eso, y ojalá después de mi combate poder regresar o ellos puedan viajar a Chile.
Fue como que tu familia ganó esa pelea. La pelea de él, sí.
Yeah,
Porque
claro,
es como
claro.
tu familia, sí. He's saying, so he's saying it was a really beautiful experience. He is glad you brought up that topic. He is very close to his family. Like, he isn't someone that will, like, at nighttime or like in the afternoon free time, it's not to go out with his friends or whatever. He just prefers to spend it with his family. So being away from his family has been really difficult. But obviously he's met both of you, like you, Miles and Taj, and so you guys became his family for him. Yeah, you transformed into his family. And so being able to then, you know, be around you guys, and then especially you, Miles, like going to that fight and experiencing something that was like this huge fight, nothing he's ever experienced before, and then to top it off, you won. It was amazing. It's like his family had won, and so it's made the experience meeting both of you just like a lot better, and he's hoping that he can return to Australia so after his fight, or he's hoping you guys can go to Chile and train over there.
Nice. Get him to bring up his mother, because I think the mother bakes food and then sells it. So the father's got the boxing gym, and then ask him what his mother does.
¿Qué hace tu mamá? So, tu papá tiene el gimnasio, pero tu
Claro.
mamá...
Mi mamá tiene como
¿una tienda?
un pequeño negocio en la casa.
¿Y ella cocina?
Sí, su
o hace-
fuerte es la cocina. No es profesionalmente chef, pero tiene una mano muy buena.
¿Y qué cocina?
No, de todo.
So his dad owns the gym, and then his mom has like a store at home, and she cooks and sells food. Her forte is cooking. She's not a professionally trained chef, but like there's magic in her hands. Wow. And I just asked him what kind of food she cooks, and he said everything.
Nice. Wow. Nice. And Tej, like, you understand how hard the sport of boxing is.
Yeah.
And just the roller coaster of emotions that we all ride, and just even the physical and mental tax it takes from us. What still gives you the motivation to keep doing this?
It used to be other factors back in the days, but now it just like, I just love doing it, and like, I stopped thinking about like, what gives me the motivation. I just like, just
It's part
do
of you
stuff.
now. It's just
just do it. Like, you don't have to think about anything else. Like, it's like, it's not starting or stopping. Like, it's about just doing stuff. And like, if you love something, you just keep doing it. You don't need any other motivation. And trust me, there are days when you're gonna feel low and like, you're not motivated enough. But then again, like, you do need those sort of days, because otherwise you'll get bored of it. So you do need breaks as well. Otherwise, because like, if you go on one pace all the time, it's not good for you either. So I think ups and downs are really important, especially in boxing, in life as well. But so when I'm down, then that gives me motivation. Like, I should train harder. Like, I just keep going.
Yeah,
That's where it is.
And I bet, and this is the cool thing about boxing. We get to meet so many people throughout the journey. Like, I've spent 12 years in the sport, and I've made friends, and I've traveled, and I've gained so much kind of intangible development through it. Like, I've really pushed myself beyond limits.
Yeah.
and I know you guys will know what I'm talking about. But even just for us to be friends, and now we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
This is a product of what the journey of boxing can give you.
100%. Yeah.
So you've lived in different countries.
Yeah.
You've experienced different gyms. You've
100%.
seen different styles, and so you're rich in history within the sport too. You know.
Yeah.
And same for Junior. Now he's experiencing it in Australia. He's only young, 21. So I'm getting of an age where like I'll probably hang up the gloves eventually one day soon, you know. But I think my love for the sport will always be there, and I've seen the younger generation evolve. You know, this gym here is a breeding ground of young kids, and I look at them and I always say this. You know, this 14-year-old kid, would I beat him at the same age? I don't think so, because they're just a different level now. And I know when I see these kids, they've still got a whole journey of just highs and lows, because it's part of it.
Yeah.
But the gifts are new friendships, new
100%.
experiences. And I know Junior's going through that too. But this is the journey. He's missing his family. He's meeting people like myself and Tej and new coaches, and having to listen to someone else other than his father, you know. Just say that to Junior, that I'm talking about the boxing journey, and now this is him and his journey, being in Australia, being away from his family, but it's all for that growth, that development. Because when he goes back to Chile, he's going to be a different person than when he left. Just see if you'll agree to that.
Yeah. Más quiere saber si piensas que, bueno, él está hablando de su pasaje con este deporte y quiere saber si tu experiencia de venir a Australia cuando tú regreses a Chile es parte de tu viaje, y quiere saber que tú no vas a regresar la misma persona de que cuando viniste a Australia, ¿no? ¿Sí?
Claro, esto fue como un viaje que necesitaba, y no sé, yo creo que la vida me envió hacia acá. Yo pasé por un momento bastante difícil, estuve un año con depresión, y fue bastante difícil salir de ahí, hasta que, pucha, no sé si llegué a tocar fondo, pero en ese momento me di cuenta que como que tenía que continuar. Mi familia me ayudó mucho a salir de ahí, y desde ese momento que yo dije, no, tengo que continuar mi sueño, me di cuenta que las ganas y mi sueño era más grande que eso.
Uh-huh.
Era más grande que eso, y desde ese día como que se me presentaron todas estas oportunidades, como de viajar a Australia.
Uh-huh.
Y todo esto me ha hecho crecer mucho como persona, no solo como deportista, sino que como persona.
Uh-huh.
El estar solo, el estar lejos de mi familia, el hacer mis cosas por mí solo, entonces ha sido de mucha ayuda para mí.
Yeah, he agrees. He says it's been like a really big journey. I mean, that's life, he says, and that's his life and his journey. But he makes mention of, you know, he had depression for a year, and he hit a really low. Like, he thinks, I probably hit the bottom.
Wow.
But then his family around him helped him get through that, and he realized that, you know, he still had like these dreams that he wanted to continue and chase, and with that help and support of his family, he was able to kind of come through that onto the other side. And as soon as he sort of decided, like, I'm going to keep pursuing my dreams, like, these opportunities started to pop up for him, so like coming to Australia, etc. And so it has been a hard journey, obviously, coming here and being away from his family, but he says that he's not only grown as a sportsman, but like him personally. And so, yeah, like, he sees
nice.
it's been like really beneficial for him and for his growth, like, as a person as well. Yeah,
nice. And I do apologise for the music in the background. It is Saturday night, so there's parties going on. But we'll wrap up. Tej, do you have any messages for anyone, or any last final words you want to say?
Regarding what? Like
Anything, like just life. For any up and coming fighter that's watching this and thinking, oh, these guys are pretty cool. You know, this guy's been to America. This guy's done it all.
I would say just like, keep going. That's my message. Like, don't ever stop.
You said
Don't ever
good days,
look back.
bad days. During the
Don't
bad
ever-
days.
Yeah, even doesn't matter. Like, I read a post on Facebook, like, a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, I would say, like, a guy was sitting in the gym, like, bodybuilder, of course, like, and the post said, like, sometimes it's not about gaining muscles or training hard. Sometimes it's all about being in a therapy. So it just like, doing what you do and doing what you love is going to push you forward. It's going to get you through all the hard times. That's what I believe now. And like, so my motto is, doesn't matter, like, if you achieve where you want to be there or not, just keep going. Like, you never know. It's all about like, moving forward. If you're not moving forward, that's when you get depressed. Even though if you're feeling low, really down, just keep moving forward.
Nice.
That's what it is all about.
Nice. And Queen Evie. So you're one of my partner May's good friends. So how long has your friendship been?
We've been friends since we were like 7 years old.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So 50-year friendship.
So we've been friends since primary school.
And you're from Guatemala?
Yeah, I was born in Guatemala, so I moved here when I was 4 years old. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And how's your English early age?
So I got sent to grade 1 and I didn't speak a word of English.
Yeah, wow.
Like I just had a lunchbox, some books.
Yeah.
And I just watched everyone else and just copied what everyone else did.
Yeah.
And then at sometime I came home one day and I just said to my mum, the teacher said we have to do this, this and this. And my mum was
Your mum's like, what?
Who said what?
Wow.
So I don't really remember the process of learning English.
Yeah. It just kind of just clicked over.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably why you and May are good friends too, because when you came over from the Philippines, I guess you guys gravitated towards each other.
I guess we do. I don't know.
Ethnic kids.
Ethnic kids. As Junior, any final words if he wants to say anything to his parents or anything?
Yeah. ¿Quieres últimas palabras? ¿Quieres decirle hola a tu mamá y papá, familia?
Sí, bueno, solo agradecerle acá a mis amigos por ser tan buenos conmigo, por entregarme buenas vibras. Ya me queda una semana acá en Australia. Por un lado estoy triste porque los voy a extrañar ahora a ellos. Y feliz porque voy a volver con mi familia, voy a volver a ganar mi primer cinturón. Y eso, solo enviarle un saludo a Chile, a mi mamá, a mi papá, a mi hermano, a mis cuñados, a mis sobrinos, que los quiero mucho y nada, pronto nos vemos y este va a ser el video más visto porque se va por todo el mundo.
I just want to say first, most thank you to you guys for being there with him. He's really felt supported and like your good vibes and such. So yeah, he really appreciates you. He has 1 week left in Australia. He is both sad and happy. So sad because he's got 1 week left here and I think he's really enjoyed the experience, but happy as well because he gets to go back home to see his family. Obviously he gave a shout out to his mom, dad, brother-in-law, niece and nephew as well, sister, basically the whole family. He said a lot, like gave a shout out to Chile as well.
Yeah, nice.
And he said it's going to be like the most watched episode around the world.
Hey. You want to tag your Instagram now?
Sorry?
Tag your Instagram? People that are watching.
Okay.
What's your Instagram?
Tej Singh boxer _boxer.
Yep.
That's my Instagram.
And Instagram, what is it?
Junior Cruzat.
Spell it.
Easy.
JUNIOR Cruzat.
Yeah.
CRUZ.
CZAT.
ZAT.
Future world boxing champion.
Oh, he also mentioned he's going to go home and win his first belt.
Hey,
Yeah,
15th
I forgot to mention
October.
that. Yeah.
15th October, Chilean title. We can watch. Can we watch? Is there a stream?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yo les voy a compartir el link.
He's going to
Okay.
share the link with you.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I'll tell everyone on the podcast to watch as well. Okay. Cool, brother. Thank you.
No, thanks for having us, bro. Appreciate that.
Ding.
No, cheers
Alright,
for
guys.
that.
Cool. That'll do. Thank you. Let's go.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Despacito.
We'll do a despacito.